All right, in the mail has come new parts. So we're going to try to once and for all get this little 1250 where it's drivable and runnable and usable, all that good stuff. So we're going to start on that right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Ross the Oliver Man, and we figured out how to make a later style water pump work. However, the one I used was a used pump we took off a parts tractor, and as I figured, it started leaking. But I was more interested in proof of concept before spending over $100 on a water pump, you know, if it wasn't going to do that thing. So looking back now, I probably should have just went ahead and bought it, because if it didn't work, the one on the 1365 needs replaced anyway. But that is neither here nor there. So we will get that done, and yeah, we'll get that pulled off here. We got to drain the water back out at least below the level. We'll probably try to use the block drain, and maybe we can, you know, save ourselves some headache. I bought a 90-degree or a right angle drill for air to try to drill holes in this plate for bracketry for the air cleaner. And the more I'm looking at that, the more I kind of feel like I'm gonna have to do that first, because I'm not gonna know where everything has to be if I don't have the, I don't know what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is I'm not going to have room to do all that, I'm afraid, if I don't just do it now. That might just be my goofy brain thinking that. Although I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to use in the way of angle iron to do that. What I was going to do is just take a piece of angle iron that I can bolt to this plate, probably on the back side of the plate, and have it over top here, and have a couple bolts welded in it where they will stand up straight, and then they will, you know, be able to be bolted. This be set down on there and have her go. But see, I'm gonna have to have that, I'm gonna have to have the hood on to know its final resting place so that I can make that happen. Go to the hood again. So we're gonna have to figure that out. I don't know. I just don't know. I just think it'd be easier to have a removable piece that I could bolt on and take off. But I got the holes marked close. So, sure. I guess let's get the water drained, and then we'll think some more on that. We got some time. There is a drain back there. However, can we form a funnel to even get to that? Because I'm betting the answer is almost no, but we're going to have to, first of all, probably clean our funnel better than what it is. It's probably still gooped up from number 2 co-op days. Come on. I don't think that's gonna work. Form a funnel. This is kind of a dumb place for a drain. Let's see if it'll do it or if it'll run all over me. I don't even know if I can open it. I had it open when we started. Ew, I'm getting a lot more out of the... Ew. That's actually kind of nasty. Maybe we don't want to do it that way. I'm wondering if a guy should get a piece of wire and stuff it up that drain. Alright, if you're wondering who held the Guinness Book of World Records for the most inadequate block drain, I would say that they were the winners. That is pretty bad. I had to keep poking through it to get the water to come out, and then still very slow. But I got it, I think. So I'm gonna take the fan off now, and we're gonna see if we can't, you know, make this happen. As much as I really love doing things twice, it's just hard to get motivated to do anything. I should probably take the belt loose first, but oh well. And another thing, now that I'm thinking about it, do we remember how hard it was to get that on there with those long bolts? I don't remember. I was thinking we had some issue. I need to get a hold of that. I think his name is Craig. He commented on a video. He said he can get all these parts. So I need to get the correct ones to have on hand. Because if I run this once, you know, and the next time this water pump goes out, I'll probably just put it back to the original if I've got all the stuff on hand. Or if I find that this just doesn't work for some reason. But what I like about this is, you know, this other water pump is available easy. And probably always will be. Sure. Kind of limited to where I can put you for this adventure because not everything is magnetizable. A lot of stuff on this thing's aluminum. There. Oh, damn. Oh. Just lay that in there. Down there, like yeah. Now we got to uncluster like that. Somehow there's still water in there. I'm guessing that it was trapped in the pump because of the way that my access hole to the block is. Now that I think about that, it probably, the water pump's probably still full of water, even though the block is not. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted it to do. It just kind of fling out of the way. I also bought a nice water pump gasket set, so hopefully no more making gaskets, you know. That's our goal. I should probably take what do I want to do? Well, see, there is a water elbow on the other side. I'm going to take the hose loose on the lower water tube because that way I'll have the most room and the most leverage to be able to pull that loose. Just trying to leave as much water in the tractor as possible, but it's just not playing nice with me that way. That are only, these two 17mm headed bolts are only threaded into the plate. This 13mm head size bolt, because I can't remember the size of the shaft. I think those are like 8mm bolts, and these other ones I'm taking out are probably like 12s, M12s. But at any rate, what I'm saying is that one, and then there's one other one down there that are threaded all the way through into the block. These other top two are not. They are just part of the water pump, remember? They hold that back plate on. Alright, so let's assess our Chinesium quality parts. Comes with everything you need, right? Got a couple holes that need plugged, just like the original, right? And they send you the plugs, right? That aren't even close to the right size. So, our choices are thus. If we want to continue this today, we're going to have to work our Knudsen and try to get those out of there. I don't know if I really want to go down that rabbit hole of sadness. I can go get a socket that those fit, or you know what I'm saying, like a Allen socket. So we'll see, we'll table that for a second. But then also what we need to do is we have to modify our new back plate, if I can get it the same shape. We got to cut that hole out a lot more. And you're going to say, why not just use the old back plate? Well, the old back plate's pretty rusty, and I wasn't really happy about using it to start with. So, whilst we can use it as a pattern, I don't believe we can make a go of it. You know what I'm saying. So I'll pull both back plates off, and then I will, you know, open this one up to match that one as best I can. I might actually try to use a hole saw this time, although I might not be able to do that because I think it was a pretty precise, there was some reason why I had to do that thing. I don't know. I'll figure it out. You can't go a certain way or another, or you'll get into the bolt, something in the plate maybe. Inside shouldn't matter though, it's probably right here. I can't remember. But we will make this go somehow. I really don't see why it would matter if it was. I better double check that before I do it, but at any rate, you know what I'm saying. All right, you shut off again, and you're gonna look at this and you're gonna think, wow, almost done. Well, guess what? More struggle. Apparently, this water pump must be slightly thinner on the hub end, because if I turn the bolts tight to put the fan on, it locks the water pump. So I have to now either get some spacers, or I have to I'm gonna have to get shorter bolts, which I just did. I mean, I just went through all this with the other one. Now I'm gonna have to go again. So unfortunately, you can't just pull the bolts out with the way this is. You got to pull the whole shebang out. The fan and the spacer is one, because there's not enough room with the radiator in to do that. So I have to pull all three out, put something behind it, and then hope that I got enough where it'll still go. So I guess I'll do that thing, and I'll let you know what I find out. I don't know why I'm surprised at this point that this is just a struggle the whole entire time, but I think I finally got it on there, and I think I got everything tight. However, now I have something that immediately came up and I have to leave. But I would like to hear it run for just a second before this, because I'm sick and tired of doing stuff for everybody else and not getting my own stuff done. So I'm going to hear it run one way or the other. Well, I got to rob a battery. I forgot that I stole that battery back for something else. And then I stole it again from there, so now it's way far away. We've got water in it. We've got battery in it. I hope we're ready to go now. I would really like to accomplish something today. All right, let's hope it don't run us over. Bye, drill. Nothing will sit on it even for a second. That's great. Back to the drawing board there. It's leaking again. Where's it leaking this time? That's... It's got to be leaking up. I see water there. I just hope it's not leaking between the block and that plate. I bet it is. No. There's water coming around the corner. Between there, why is it doing that? Well, I think we're hosed. I think we did all this work for nothing because apparently something ain't right. I don't know what that something is. I don't know if the problem is that I mean, what could the problem be? Those holes don't go into that plate. So is the problem, I don't know. I see water down lower. I just don't know what's happening. All right, so I don't know how much of the video you're going to see to this point, but guess what? Third time's a charm. Why did this not work? Well, several reasons, okay? When I saw, well, wherever it was leaking, it's leaking right here, where our adapter plate screws into our block. So one thing I didn't do this time that I did last time was I filled that hole full of Permatex. And this time, after cleaning it up, I didn't do that. And guess what? It bit me right square in the Knudsen. Number two problem. Well, last time, if you recall, I had made my own gasket. That goes on like this, somewhat. I haven't got that. You know what I'm saying. I had done this. That worked great, you know. But this time I had ordered a actual gasket set for a 1365 water pump. And it came with this nice little baggie full of stuff. So the problem was this. This is a mounting gasket that would go to mount this to the tractor, and take a guess at that. It doesn't, oops, I got it upside down. Here, just a second. Technical difficulties. And you're gonna say, well, hey, it was leaking by this. It doesn't even go up there that far. No, it doesn't. But it has a lot of material in the middle here to kind of help hold back. Also, we torched this up, and the original one would have stopped like right here. So we would have had more material yet. And when I cut this one, I thought, I don't know if I like that. You know, I think that we're getting kind of narrow here. So I thought, I'm going to use the gasket that goes all the way around. And that's what I did. I used this one, which is really the gasket that goes in between this plate and the water pump. And I had this happy little gasket on there. Well, I should have smeared this whole back plate with Permatex, and then it probably still wouldn't have leaked. But since I didn't, it was able to sneak under that hole, which is right in this gasket part way, and then it let it come out of there. Because normally, with my other gasket, or even if I'd have smeared Permatex on it, the water wouldn't even have been able to get over to this bolt hole, because it would have been something else between it. And then the other big mistake I made was I used Chinesium Permatex from the O Parts store. I didn't use my Permatex brand, and that was not a good thing either. So, and then I guess fifthly or sixthly failure I did. I was so excited that this is going to work. I cut a lot of corners and it bit me, but I should have waited 24 hours or thus, as long as possible, before I put water back in it to let that number 2 Permatex kind of find its happy place. Usually if you let it sit 24 hours and then use it, it won't leak. No matter what it is, hydraulic oil or whatever, it will work. So, lucky for me, I knew I was a dum-dum and I had ordered 2 gasket sets anyway. So I'm going to put this new gasket between the plate and this and give it a little sealant on both sides. And then I made my own gasket again for here. And I'm thinking that ought to solve our issue. This time I'm going to coat it a little more better. And I bought American style Permatex wherever it is. So that is why here late at night I am out here, despite the bugs and whatnot, because I want to get this bolted on there and let it sit and dry as long as possible. And tomorrow I can put the water in and we can try it. And then I can add this to this video, and then you'll get to see this video. Because right now, I'm not going to release this video with it ending in failure. It's going to end in success, I hope. So, step A is going to be, we're going to put this back plate back on the pump. Another solution I thought of, I could have done, and I didn't. Of course, I don't know that that really would have worked because of where that hole was. But I thought about drilling through and tapping another hole on the adapter plate so that one of these little threaded bolt holes could be threaded into the adapter plate and help pull the pump tight to the adapter plate. So, anyway, live and learn, you know. But we got the good stuff now, so. I say that as it comes out strange colored. That other stuff, although they call it number 2, I guess it's just really not, it's not the same stuff because it smells different. I mean, this number 2 Permatex is amazing stuff. I don't know why it works, but it does seal leaks quite handily. So I'm gonna put a little coat on this side. Sometimes you wouldn't have to do this, but because of what I'm doing here and because of the troubles that I had the previous time, we're gonna just lather this up and hope for the best, because we got a lot of sadness, friends. Now we're gonna put this on here. We're gonna start this in there. Maybe. We're gonna fight it. Why wouldn't we? I'm also thinking about not tightening this instantly right away. Because another thing I think that happened was it had actually pulled this plate kind of away from the deal there. Alright. Now we're just going to have all the fun we can stand here. Everywhere there is a surface, it's getting Permatex this time. I don't want to take this off again. I want this tractor out of here where I can move it around and it's not in my way and we can get to something else that pays bills. Because right now this has been holding up my progress. Alright. Now we're going to do the same treatment to this side. Boy, this is really doing good with the tolerances, isn't it? All this extra or whatever you want to call it, not liquid material, but Permatex material. What would you call this? It's not really a putty. I don't know what the fluid name would be for stuff like this. Sealant. This time she's gonna go, boys, because it is not gonna force past all this. And also I am going to put some in that hole this time, and in the other one too, like I did the time before. It worked great. The time before, the only places that were leaking was through the bad seal in the whatchamee. All right, we are ready for voltage. Now that I got Permatex in my hair even, we're ready. I've done this so many times that I should be able to do it practically in my sleep. There's that one. That's the going. This one kind of concerns me. I was kind of nervous about the thread in it this last time. See, I don't know if I want to do that tight. I think I want to tighten the others. Boy, look at all this silicone. It looks like Special Ed Fred put this together, but that's just going to be part of it. I'm not taking no chances this time. All right. If it don't work this time, it's just not going to work, because there is no physical way that water can escape from that unless it makes a new hole. So we're going to let this sit and dry. It's all ready to just put water in. So tomorrow, about this time, or probably a little before, we will put some water in, try to start it, and make sure it don't chuck any water out at us. And if it doesn't do that thing, why then I think we finally can say we successfully figured this out. And then we'll finally maybe be able to move on. And quite honestly, I'm sick of this right now, so I'll probably park it somewhere out of the way and come back to it later. But I've got all the decals, I've got everything to make it like a new one, but I just don't have the good patience for everything to be working, because it's fought me so much. But you will see in the end of this video the results one way or the other. So until then, we will stop here. Well, it's been running for probably 5 minutes and I don't see any leaks, so I think I got it this time. Just a matter of making my own stuff and then it works fine. So thank goodness we're done with that part of this project. Put that down so we can hear a little better. But we got the hardest hurdle done now, finally. After multiple times, we finally got it done. That's pretty hot. So we will continue our adventures on this, and we'll see. I need to get the temperature gauge hooked up now so I have some idea of what is taking place. But I mean, we got the struggle bus part done, I think, providing that it actually cools now, you know. Still got fluid in it. So yeah, I'm pretty pumped. Like I said, we got to get our rest of our stuff buttoned up, and then we'll see, you know what needs to be done. But this part's done, and hopefully now we'll get through the rest of this pretty quick. So good deal. Do you suffer from low intelligence and are easily entertained? Well, then hit that thumbs up button and leave a comment, and that way we can keep making entertainment that your feeble minds can understand. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.